My name is Darcy Ingram. I was 32 years old when my father threw my 8-year-old daughter into a thunderstorm. 3 hours. That's how long my daughter sat in a storm drain before someone found her. 3 hours of rain hitting her face, of wind tearing through her jacket, of thunder shaking the concrete under her body. She was 8. She weighed 52 pounds, and my father opened the door and pushed her out like she was a stray dog who'd knocked over the trash. He did it because of a lie told by her 10-year-old cousin, a lie my parents never questioned, not for 1 second, because questioning it would have meant admitting the truth about who they'd been protecting all along. What happened in that hospital room 3 hours later, and what my father said when he saw me sitting by her bed, changed everything. But what none of them knew was that I had already made the call that would end their world as they knew it. Welcome back to Calm Drama Stories. This is where we share real stories about the moments that test your family and the quiet strength it takes to protect the people you love most. If this story speaks to you, drop a comment and be sure to subscribe. I joined the Army at 18, not because I loved the idea of uniforms and salutes, because it was the only door my father couldn't close. Ray Ingram had a very clear picture of what his daughters should be. Married young, close to home, grateful for everything he provided and quiet about everything he didn't. My sister Jenna fit that picture perfectly. She married Derek Walsh at 21, had Tyler at 22, and moved into a house 10 minutes from my parents. My father smiled at her wedding like he'd just won the lottery. I chose ROTC, then Officer Candidate School, then a logistics commission out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Every step I took further from home, my father's silence got louder. By the time I was 24, I was a first lieutenant managing supply chains for a brigade. By the time I was 25, I was pregnant. The father, a civilian contractor named Marcus, left when I was 6 months along. No forwarding address, no phone call. Just an empty apartment and a note that said, "I'm not ready." I had Lily alone. Raised her on base housing and meal plans and every scrap of leave I could scrape together. My mother called once a week. My father called once a month. And when they did, the question was always the same. "When are you coming home, Darcy?" I never answered that question the way they wanted, but I always answered Lily's. "Where are we going next, Mommy?" "Wherever the Army sends us, baby. And we'll make it work." I was good at making things work. I was not good at seeing what was happening when I wasn't there to watch. When I got orders for a 9-month rotation in Kuwait, I had 72 hours to finalize my family care plan. Every military parent knows that form. It's Department of Defense standard. You designate a caregiver. You sign custody paperwork. You leave your child with someone you trust and you fly halfway around the world hoping you made the right choice. My parents volunteered before I asked. My mother called the morning after I told her about the deployment. "She's our granddaughter, of course we'll take her." I remember feeling relieved. Lily would be in a house with a yard, a school district rated 8 out of 10, and 2 grandparents who had raised 2 kids of their own. The alternative was my Army buddy's wife, a woman Lily had met twice. The choice felt obvious. I signed the family care plan designating Ray and Connie Ingram as Lily's temporary legal guardians. I set up an automatic transfer of $1,200 a month into their checking account. Childcare, groceries, school supplies. My father never mentioned the money. Not once. And I later found out he never told Jenna either. Jenna's son Tyler was already practically living at my parents' house. He had a bedroom there, a toothbrush in the bathroom, a drawer full of clothes. When Lily arrived with her suitcase, my mother put her in the guest room. The one with the pull-out couch and no curtains. Tyler had a room with baseball posters and a nightlight shaped like a rocket. Lily had a couch that folded. I didn't know that then. Lily didn't tell me. And when I asked my mother if Lily was settled, she said, "She's adjusting just fine." That was the first lie. It wouldn't be the last. The night before I deployed, I sat on Lily's bed in our base housing apartment and pulled a small card from my pocket. Military Dependent ID, her photo on the front. My name printed underneath. Emergency contact number on the back. I clipped it to the inside pocket of her backpack. "What's that for?" she asked. This tells anyone who finds you that you belong to me. No matter where I am. No matter how far. You show someone this card and they will call your mom. She ran her fingers over the plastic. Even if you're in another country? Even then. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said something that should have stopped me cold. What if Grandpa gets mad again? Again. I set down the water bottle I was packing and looked at her. What do you mean again? She picked at the edge of her blanket. Nothing. He just gets loud sometimes. Loud how? Like when Tyler breaks something and Grandpa thinks I did it. He yells, but then Grandma says it's fine. I knelt in front of her. Has Grandpa ever scared you? She shrugged. 8-year-old shrug. The kind that means yes but doesn't have the vocabulary for it yet. I filed it away. Told myself I'd watch more carefully from overseas. Told myself I'd ask my mother about it. Told myself that my father was strict, not dangerous, and that Lily was safe. I was wrong about one of those things. And by the time I figured out which one, my daughter was in a storm drain 4 blocks from my parents' house. I kissed her forehead. I'll call you every week, I promise. Promise. I kept that promise. My parents didn't keep theirs. Kuwait was hot, flat, and 18 hours ahead of Tennessee. My workdays ran 12 to 14 hours managing supply routes for 3 forward operating bases. I scheduled my video calls for 6 in the morning local time, noon back home, because that was Lily's lunch break at school. Except the calls never happened at school. My mother insisted on hosting them from the kitchen. Better Wi-Fi, she said. But the real reason became clear after the second week. Connie was always in the frame, hovering behind Lily, adjusting the camera angle, smiling. How's school, baby? Fine. What did you do today? Stuff. Are you and Tyler getting along? Pause. I don't know. She used to talk for 20 minutes straight. About the caterpillar she found. About the girl in her class who could burp the alphabet. About the bird that landed on the playground fence. Now she gave me single-word answers and looked past the camera like she was waiting for permission to leave. I tried asking my mother directly. Is something going on with Lily? She seems different. Connie waved her hand. She's adjusting. All kids do this when their routine changes. She just needs time. Can I talk to her alone next time? Without you in the room? The Wi-Fi is better in the kitchen, Darcy. You know that. I didn't push it. I should have. 2 weeks later, I noticed something else. Lily stopped mentioning Tyler by name. Used to be, Tyler and I played in the yard, or Tyler showed me his baseball cards. Now it was just silence when I asked. You and Tyler doing okay? She looked down. Yeah. You sure? Can I go now, Mom? Grandma says lunch is ready. I let her go. I shouldn't have. The care package arrived on a Tuesday. Brown cardboard box, stamps slightly crooked. My mother's handwriting on the label. Inside, 2 bags of Lily's favorite gummy bears, a photo of Lily at a school event, and a folded piece of construction paper. I opened the drawing. Stick figures. Left side of the page. A tall man, a woman with curly hair, a smaller woman holding hands with a boy. All grouped together, smiling. Bright crayon colors. Red, yellow, blue. Right side. 1 figure. Small. No smile. Brown hair. Standing alone. No one touching her. At the bottom, in careful child handwriting, my family. I sat on my bunk and stared at it for a long time. My daughter drew herself outside her own family. I called home immediately. My father answered. His voice carried that edge it always had when I called during his evening shows. Is Lily there? She's upstairs. What do you want? I got a drawing from her. She drew the family and she put herself off to the side. Alone. Silence. Then a grunt. Kids draw nonsense, Darcy. Don't read into everything. She drew everyone else holding hands. She drew herself standing by herself. She's fine. Your mother takes good care of her. Maybe if you were here instead of playing soldier across the ocean, your daughter wouldn't draw sad pictures. He hung up. I pulled out a small notebook I kept in my footlocker. The kind with the hard green cover and the elastic band. I wrote the date. I wrote what he said. I wrote what the drawing showed. Then I folded the drawing and slipped it into the breast pocket of my uniform. It stayed there for 4 months. Against my chest. Against my heart. I started paying attention to the details I'd been missing. Small things. Things that added up. Lily's school had an online portal. Parent access. I could see attendance records, teacher notes, after-school pickup logs. I checked every morning before my shift. Tyler Walsh. Picked up by Ray Ingram every day at 3:15. Car pickup lane. Like clockwork. Lily Ingram. Enrolled in after-school program. Pick up at 5:30. Different parent listed for emergency contact. My mother, not my father. He didn't even put his name on her file. I called the school office. The receptionist was kind. Lily's doing well academically. She's quiet though. Very quiet. Does someone pick her up? She's in the extended day program. Her grandmother picks her up around 5:30. Sometimes closer to 6. Tyler left at 3:15. Lily waited 2 more hours. Every day. Tyler's birthday in October. I saw photos on Jenna's social media. 15 kids. Bounce house in the backyard. Cake shaped like a baseball diamond. My parents grinning behind a table of presents they'd paid for. Lily's birthday in January. My mother texted me a single photo. Lily at the kitchen table. A store-bought cake. No candles. No friends. Just my mother standing behind her and a paper plate with a slice of yellow cake. I called my mother that night. Why was Lily's birthday so different from Tyler's? We already spent a lot this month, Darcy. And Lily didn't want a big party. She's 8. What 8-year-old doesn't want a party? Tyler lives here full-time. Lily is temporary. Temporary. She used that word like it was a fact, not a knife. But it cut just the same. And I knew right then that in my parents' house, my daughter was a guest. Tyler was the grandchild. I sat down at the comm station at 0300 and typed a hardship reassignment request. 2 pages. Single-spaced. Facts only. Military regulation allows early return when family care plan conditions change materially. I cited documented concerns about my designated caregiver's treatment of my dependent child. I attached the school counselor's contact information, the pickup log discrepancy, and a scanned copy of Lily's drawing. My commander, Colonel Barrett, read it the next day. He called me into his office, sat me down, and said, "Ingram, is your daughter safe?" "I don't know, sir." And that's the problem. He signed the request that afternoon and sent it up the chain. Then I called Captain Elena Rivera. J.A.G. We'd served together at Fort Sill 3 years earlier. She was stationed at Campbell and she owed me a favor for covering her supply audit when her kid got sick. "Rivera, I need legal advice. Off the record for now. Talk to me. My parents are my designated caregivers for Lily. I think there's favoritism. Maybe neglect. I need to know my options." She didn't hesitate. "Document everything. Screenshots, school reports, dates. If this goes legal, you want a paper trail that starts before the incident, not after." "There hasn't been an incident." "Then you're ahead of the curve. Stay there." I spent the next 2 months building a file. Every phone call logged, every drawing scanned, every text from my mother saved to a folder on my laptop labeled Family. I didn't tell my parents I was seeking early return. I didn't tell Jenna. I didn't tell anyone except Rivera and Colonel Barrett. 2 months of paperwork. 2 months of waiting. And then, 3 weeks before my reassignment came through, Tyler told the lie that changed everything. I trusted my parents with the most important person in my life, and for 2 years, I missed the signs that my daughter was becoming invisible in her own family. If you have ever felt that gut feeling that something was wrong but could not prove it, stay with me. Drop a comment, and let us keep going. Tyler Walsh had been lying about Lily for months. I just didn't have the full picture until later. The first lie was small. A broken television remote. Tyler threw it at the wall during a tantrum over a video game. When Ray stormed into the living room, Tyler pointed at Lily. She dropped it. Lily said she didn't. Ray told her to stop making excuses and sent her to her room. The second lie was about cookies. My mother baked a batch of snickerdoodles for Tyler's classroom party. Half the tray disappeared overnight. Tyler told Connie that Lily ate them after dinner. The truth was, Tyler had given them to his friend from across the street. My mother never asked Lily her side. She just said, "You need to